My mother, she's 95 years old now. She's something else. She's tough. Everything ends in because I'm your mother, that's why. Shut up. Still, the other day, because I'm your mother, that's why. Shut up. To my father, who taught me by example how to be a gentle man, the most important person in my life. 40 years of sacrifice, 40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love, real love, unwavering love. In spite of myself, I would not be alive without Pauletta Washington. I wouldn't be alive. Small minds discuss other people, gossip. Good minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. I was Eleanor Roosevelt. I was also Pauletta's father, my father-in-law. He was a great man. He taught me so much what being a man really is. I want to end the night with a short video that we recorded, Pauletta's father, 30 years ago, that my son, Malcolm, gave me, an AFI graduate. Pauletta's father had to say 30 years ago, try and turn this thing around. I blame no one. I look in the mirror. On the other side of it, what an opportunity we have, because tomorrow's the first day of the rest of our lives. So what an opportunity we have to practice.
It's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds. I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy. Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer. And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old. You blame the system? Where was his father? Starts in the house, starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father? You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25, one did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together, but I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example. Didn't.
I was pre-med in college, then I said I'd be a doctor, then I was political science, I said I'd be a lawyer, then I studied journalism. So I actually was working my way toward the arts without realizing. That's why I told my children a liberal arts education is okay. You don't have to know at 17, I was 17 when I started college. You don't have to know at 17 what you're gonna do the rest of your life. So I worked it out, I found my way to theater. I started with Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones. First role, second role was Othello. So I really didn't see anybody who looked like me. So I didn't aspire to act in movies because there was Richard Pryor and Sidney was on the end of his, but I liked those New York movies, Taxi Driver, August Wilson's screenplay 7 years ago. And I read it, and I thought it needed work, quite frankly. So I said, well, I haven't read the play. So I read the play, and it said Troy Maxon, 53 years old.
Working with kids as a coach, coaching my own kids, I get a lot of pleasure out of that. So this gave me that opportunity.
Your son got shot in the face, that's difficult. Making a movie is a luxury. It's a gift. It's an opportunity, and most importantly, it's a gift. Obviously, everybody here is talented enough to do that, but don't get it twisted. It's just a movie.
I don't look at, I'm reminded of the experiences, that I had making those films. So it's interesting to see them one against the other. I don't get to see them like, people have different philosophies. For some, it's not mysterious. It's very technical, and you can do this and that and this and that, and you should get a certain result. First thing I learned, first guy I met, I walk in like, oh, I'm here with a sick person. You don't know how to act. And he's like, hey, Denzel, loosen up. So I learned a lot from that. He and I, we were like talking about movies. Yeah. Well, and I had become so comfortable and been around so many quads, and I didn't need to ask the basic questions. I was more like, well, what are you going to be doing next? And doing certain things, like I walk in the room, I knew to get in front of him so he can see me. Don't sit on the side. And the film opens with the boxes, so it's got to be right. I remember as I thought back on it, I used to enjoy world history. I used to enjoy research projects, I always did well in history and social sciences. Well, they wanted to write a script themselves first, and the Army gave them that opportunity to do that.